It was a wasted time, and that's why I didn't like it. I'm like, this was pointless in my eyes.
Less kayfabe.
MJF is going to win this thing?
More chaos.
Tony, I'm sorry that I thought that.
All elite. This is the Elite Heat Podcast. The Elite Heat Podcast. With Tim and Doug.
So we're going to try something new right out of the gate here. This may work. This may fail miserably. I don't know. But we are going to call it the Heat Check. This is where we're going to run very quickly through. Here's what we like. Here's what we thought was kind of mid, kind of meh. And here's the stuff we didn't like. And then we'll get more in depth with it. So let's see how this goes. Doug, you do the honors of the first ever Heat Check for you.
Okay. So do you want to start with what I liked or what I disliked?
Yes. Yeah, let's start with what you liked.
What I liked as far as wrestling-wise, why is you can't even get it out.
Or Wige.
Yeah. I did like the opening match. I thought the opening match was really good with Roosh and MJF. I liked that. I liked Lio Rush tonight. I loved the Speedball Jet match. And I really, really, really liked the Ospreay Davis match. That may have been my match of the night. Promo-wise, I liked the Death Rider promo in the back. I liked the Dogs Bucks promo. I liked the Briscoe promo with a slight caveat that it was a bit too long, but otherwise I really liked the passion there. So those are the things that I really liked. What about you?
Mine's pretty similar to yours from the matches. Really liked MJF and Roosh. I thought they were really good. I'd like to get more of them. We can get more into that. Speedball and Kevin Knight were good. I think they could have been great. And we can talk more about why I think that. Good could have been great. I liked Alex Windsor and the wild card. And I liked Ospreay and Davis. I would agree with you that I think that that's probably match of the night. To me, it's between Ospreay and Davis and MJF and Roosh.
Yeah.
And I'm leaning towards Ospreay and Davis. Promo-wise, I liked the MJF and Roosh stuff with a caveat. I thought it was good. It's sort of like what I said before of good could have been great.
Fair.
I agree with you on the Briscoe promo. Really liked it. Really liked what we saw from him. Thought it was a little long. We'll break that down some more here in a minute. Liked the Death Riders with Ospreay. Liked the Dogs and the Bucks. I liked MJF in the tub, if for no other reason than him doing an interview from the tub was funny.
I honestly forgot about that one, and that would go in my like category.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. So those are my likes. In the
mid. What's in your mid? Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, the mid/meh. Thekla's promo, Ciampa's promo, Renee with Don and Okada, the Kevin Knight post-match promo, and then I did put Lio Rush and Mark Briscoe here. We can talk about that a little more in depth. How about you?
I put the Thekla promo as well, Renee with the Dogs, only because the Bucks were the star of that one. That's why
Fair.
I thought it was a little mid. And the Timu Hangman line was the best. I thought the Don Callis Okada thing was okay. Nothing special. Honestly, the Andrade match I put in as mid just because it was yet another squash. And then honestly, I thought that the women's Owen match with the wild card was mid mostly because of where it leaves Alex Windsor.
Okay. Well, let's talk about more. Mids. Let's talk more about that here in a minute. Was that all your mids?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right. So then, was there anything that you did not care for?
I didn't care for the way they treated Andrade tonight. I did not like a couple things that I thought could have been really good, and they weren't there. And it just felt like once again they just blew him off, and I didn't appreciate that.
Okay.
Didn't like it.
Yep, I agree with you with Andrade. I am calling this Andrade versus Already in the Ring, because I'm not even sure they said the young man's name. They probably did, but I don't care.
Barely.
Yeah, I put that in my didn't care for it. I also don't like Kevin Knight joining the Don Callis family. I don't like it. So let's talk about it. Let's dive in. Let's talk about why we feel the way that we feel about this stuff. So let's run through it the way that the show laid out. So right off the top, we got the Roosh MJF promo, which again, I liked it because I liked a lot of things here. I liked what they did with Roosh. I thought that sort of like with Mark Briscoe, there was fire here. There was emotion here. There was passion here. And it was a really good spot for him. I even liked the pull apart. What I didn't love about this and what I think kept it from being great why did we do this in 2 segments? Like, why was it a pre-tape with the pull apart and then we come back to live with Rush and Andrade? You could have done all this in 1 segment, and it felt like a flimsy way to set up a no count outs, which is not no DQ and is an important thing when we talk about the match itself. But overall, I enjoyed it enough that I put it in my I liked it category. But I really think that was a sequence that could have been really good, like really could have lit the match to start the show. And because of the way that they produced it, it held it back from being as good as I think it could have been.
I thought starting the show with that promo was weird and it felt awkward because there was no lead in. It was just, here we are backstage, and just a graphic that said earlier today. And I thought that was kind of weird, kind of weak. I liked the Andrade Rush interaction, but it ultimately led to me being disappointed later. So I kind of felt like, then what are we doing? So that was disappointing. But Rush in it was great. The MJF interaction was great. The breaking it up was odd. Overall, pretty good, but it didn't make my really, really good. So it's probably in my mid for that reason, because it could have been really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, I like I said, for me, I liked it. I think if anything, it's weird to say this when MJF is in the segment, but I think Rush is what really made that promo. I thought he really did such a good job there. And I think that's why it pushed it into the I liked it category for me.
That's fair. Yeah.
So then we got the actual match between MJF and Rush. I will say I'm going to say at least 40% of why I liked the match was MJF coming out dressed as a matador.
That was pretty funny.
I really enjoyed that.
That was pretty nice. I liked it. And I liked the fact that it was the callback to the opening segment where he said, if you're the bull, then I'm the matador. And that's when he got taken down. So I thought that was fun.
Yeah. In terms of the match itself, I thought it was a really good match. I think the no count out was weird. I don't think they needed to do it. And if you're going to do it, just go ahead and call it no DQ, because they treated it like a no DQ match. There were so many things that they did where both guys should have gotten disqualified and they didn't.
Right.
So,
yeah, if you're going to do it or don't.
Yeah.
In the way it ended, it was irrelevant. You didn't even need the no count out. It was irrelevant. So again, you're right. That while the promo was okay, it didn't need to happen the way it did. So
and I don't think the promo did anything to feed into the stipulation. So this is one where I'm gonna admittedly nitpick it a little bit, but I'm gonna nitpick this one on. You had a really, really good match, and I think putting the stipulation into it was pointless and was an example of when Tony Khan overbooked stuff. And, look, I get it that they probably said, hey, we want to do all these spots outside the ring, like when Rush crashed through the barrier, which was great. When have you been watching a wrestling match and gotten legitimately upset because they didn't do the 10 count?
Right. And even
it happens all the time.
Even in a match that you do the 10 count, they don't use it every time they're outside the ring. If they're outside and swinging on each other, they rarely are counting. When
the referee often
they aren't counting. So
the referee often follows them out, and fine, just do that. It was fine. You don't need the stipulation. It was pointless.
Yeah, it was unnecessary, and like you said, a little overbooked. So, but I really liked the match. I thought Rush looked really good, but and then of course MJF went to attack him, and this is where I got disappointed.
Okay,
Briscoe came out and not Andrade. And I thought it made so much more sense if Andrade would have come out, because he just gave him that big pep talk and was like, show him we can win, show him we're championship material. To me, it made more sense if he would have come out. I understand why Briscoe came out, but I don't know why. Okay, Briscoe comes out, he gets laid out. Okay, have Andrade come out then and stand him down and have him back away. But I'm more disappointed in the fact that I felt Andrade was not given that opportunity that I think they had kind of set up earlier and then didn't. So that was my biggest disappointment with that. But I did enjoy the conglomeration coming out. I just expected Andrade and thought it made more sense in the moment.
I get that. I see where you're coming from on that. I don't necessarily disagree with you on it. I just will say, while watching it, that didn't jump out at me. It could be because I was very amused by 3 members of the conglomeration having their own faces on their T-shirts. I don't know. I may have been more distracted by that than thinking about it. I think you make a good point, though. Didn't bother me as much, but valid. And later, we're going to talk more about Andrade, and I'm going to be more on your side on this one. So I think. So
yeah. And I think that what we just talked about adds an extra layer to that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And yes, I do. Yeah. And, really with this match, I think for me, like I said, I was kind of between this one and Ospreay and Davis for match of the night. I think what holds this back for me from really being match of the night is this is a me thing. I fully admit this is a me thing. I don't like the pass out finish. I just don't like it. Especially when you have the whole show of Roosh making the face at him and giving him the finger, and then he just immediately blacks out. Like, didn't love it, but I would not be at all upset if they ran this back and we got more of MJF and Roosh.
I think what disappointed me a little bit about it was it felt like we're going to stay with this and with limited interruption. They went to break, they came back, and 3 minutes later, the match is over. And I was like,
yeah,
it just felt like it ended too soon for me. If you're going to have the pass out be the ending, felt like he should have, it should have been, it would have been a little better and more believable in my head if they would have went another 10 minutes. And then it's like, oh, fuck, these guys have been going for a while. Now that makes sense. This felt a little bit rushed in that way. But again, I understand the reasoning. I just thought it was different and better.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been a better finish if when Roosh made the face and gave him the finger, if he fights out of the hold and then, 3 minutes later, MJF gets him in it again and that shoulder, he just can't take it anymore. That would have been a better way to work it, I think.
Yep.
And let's be honest, I have yet to be wrong. Do not go check me on that.
Fair enough.
I need to
Not
do
even
this.
sure I could.
Well, my wife had this idea, and I think she's right. I need to put this together. I need to edit together the montage of you and I going from, oh, my God, I can't believe they put the belt on Darby to us going, we were wrong. We were very, very wrong about that.
Yep. Look, I'll admit that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I was wrong about that.
Yeah, I own that. I was very wrong.
I was confused, but by week 2, I was in. Made sense. I'm on it.
Yep. Then we got, like you said, Briscoe came out and stayed in the ring so he could have his match with Lio Rush. I put this in my meh category. I don't have a strong reason for it. I like the Lio Rush character. I thought the match between them was actually pretty fun. But I think my issue with this is I don't know what we're doing with Lio Rush. Like, he's going to pop up. And he's going to have these matches, and he's going to get TV time, and that's fine. But then he loses. So I don't know where we're going with him. I don't know. I just don't get it, I guess. I don't get what the plan is. And I don't know that Mark Briscoe beating Lio Rush makes a strong case for Mark Briscoe to then challenge for the world title.
I agree.
So that's why I kind of dropped it down.
If you notice, what I said I liked was Lio Rush.
That's true.
Because I liked Lio Rush in this. I liked how when he's coming to the ring, the conglomeration stopped.
Yep.
And didn't move and didn't look at him. I thought that was really funny. And I thought him whispering to Briscoe at the beginning was an interesting new nugget. And I like the weirdness of it. I like we're getting to see a little more of him. What they're doing with him, I don't have the foggiest idea. But I like them giving us a character that is just more than, I'm going to beat your ass. And he's just weird and you don't know. And he's still working really, really well in the ring. And he looks cool. And it's just, I don't know. I really like the fact that they put him on. And I did like the fact that Briscoe won. But like you, I'm not sure. I put a win for Briscoe equals title shot ? But okay.
I mean, I get that the angle here, and this would play into the promo that followed. I get the angle is really more of, Max, I beat you once already, and you can't beat me. And you're not giving me the match because you're afraid. You're ducking me. Like, I get that. But again, I don't know. Like, we had talked about this a couple weeks ago of, I think it would be, I like the angle of MJF basically saying, look, you're not going to get a title shot because you can't be the face of a company.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I also like the idea of him saying to people, you haven't beaten anyone. you beat a weird Leo Rush. Great. Now go beat Mark Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Go beat Ospreay. Go beat John Moxley. Like, list off MJF's resume of wins and say, go beat those guys. Then you can come get in the ring with me.
Right.
I think that would be a better angle, I guess, for lack of a better term, instead of, oh, we squashed a bunch of dudes and now we get the title shot, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought that was weird, but I also wrote down Briscoe new t-shirt, moist ass bitch.
I did enjoy it. The promo was good. I really enjoyed the promo. I think it's very interesting when he gets serious like that, when he gets real. Because he does still manage to work in things like moist ass bitch. I liked it. I thought his promo was good.
Like I said, my only caveat is that I thought it was a bit long, but otherwise I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now we had the promo net. Speaking of promos, we had Thekla coming out for the promo. I liked half of it.
Okay, me too. I'm curious to hear you say it though.
I liked the first half of when she's coming down and just calling everybody dumb bitches and is shouting everybody out. When they got to start saying, when she started talking about how the sisters were going to win and get, she was going to, Sky Blue is going to win the Owen and Hart is going to get her title back, which I kind of forgot she even had the TNT title.
I kind of did too, yeah.
And then she hocked a big loogie onto Stardom and it didn't get the pop I think they were hoping for.
I agree.
When she said, I'm declaring death on Stardom, because I don't think Stardom has been made a big enough deal yet with the AEW fans in general. So I felt like that they're really force feeding that angle on us, which I get it. If it's going to be part of Forbidden Door, you have to. So I liked the first half, which felt very Thekla to me. And then this second half of crapping all over Stardom, it didn't hit as well with me. And I wasn't as thrilled.
Yeah, I mostly liked that first part of it. Like I really didn't have a problem with it. I didn't even have that big of a problem with her getting into the stuff with Stardom. Now, I'm going to put an asterisk on that because they're assuming knowledge. They've made mention of, oh, she got fired from Stardom, but they're assuming that the whole story, and they should not assume that.
Yep.
The other thing where it really fell apart for me was I'm like, oh, okay, Sky Blue and Julia Hart went and got a ladder. I'm like, oh man, I bet she's going to climb up there and like, I don't know, spray paint over the logo or something. And then when all she did was spit on it and flip it off, I went, well, that did not have the impact you guys were hoping for.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's where it fell apart for me. And that's what moved that promo from what probably would have been on a borderline of me putting it in the liked category anyway, but I probably would have kept it in the I liked it category. But then that happened and I was like, that was fucking cheesy, man. And that's what bumped it into the meh,
I agree.
And I get it. You've got beef with the promotion, declaring death on the promotion. Okay, fine. I think it would make more sense if she called out whoever their champion is.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that would at least help. You'd give me something to Google then,
Which one of because isn't one of the competitors in the Owen from Stardom, at least one, maybe two?
I think
call them out
right.
by name. Call them out by name because I think one of them is taking on Sky Blue.
It makes me feel like, I think you might be right, but it makes me feel like they know they're going to have her fight somebody from Stardom at Forbidden Door, but they don't know who yet. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that happens at this point,
Like, exactly.
So the whole thing.
But if you don't know that, and you have one of the Stardom people in your tournament, have her call them out.
Yeah.
Like, if you think you're moving on, you're out of your head.
Yeah. Yeah. It all just, it didn't land very well, which is too bad. Because again, broken record again of like, give the women a story.
Yes, please.
Just a story at this point. So then we got the Death Riders with Ospreay. I liked it. I mean, I don't really have anything to add to that. I liked it. I liked this whole thing. I liked this story.
I thought it was interesting, the new tweak at the end where Mox is like, I don't like what's happening. I don't like all these factions. And I'm like, okay, so they're starting to plant the seeds of Death Riders are going to start taking on every other faction around. And of course, Don Callis Family is the biggest, and they're probably going to be the first. And we get a little bit of that really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel to me, my thought, and we can, there's really not much more to add to this, but my thought coming out of the Donnybrook in the main event was, you like that? Donnybrook? I broke that out. The
Loved it.
last time I broke it out was when you weren't here, that week that you weren't recently, and so I've been waiting to uncork it again. Anyway, my thought coming out of that was like, man, this feels like they're setting up a Anarchy in the Arena or Blood and Guts or something like that, and that's fine. That's fine. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Yeah, but like I said, I don't have a lot to add to it other than I like the story. I like the promo. I thought, good job.
Yeah, I was fine with it. They kept it short. I liked it. And then I think we come back to yet another promo with Renee with the dogs, which was interesting. It wasn't terrible. And I don't know. Normally, maybe I just like them in the ring better. I thought it was okay, and I was glad to see the Bucks come out. And for me, the highlight was them calling Connor's Timu Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah, that was good. So you did, by my notes, you did skip ahead a little bit, but that's fine. I don't care.
What did we skip?
We skipped a
the
couple
whole
things.
match.
We skipped a couple
I
things
skipped
there.
A bunch. Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. To put the bow on that, we'll skip over it when we get to it chronologically. I didn't have a problem with the dogs part of the promo. I kind of like them poking fun at the classic Edge and Christian stuff.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I kind of like it. But you are right that the Bucks were the stars here. They absolutely were the best part of that promo. And you know what? If you're going to give me the Bucks and the dogs, okay. Yeah. Let's do it.
I'm there for it.
Yeah. Was it the greatest promo I've ever seen? No. But I think that because I'm in for what it looks like it's leading to, I think that helped push it up for me. And like I said, I liked them kind of poking fun at the Edge and Christian stuff.
I don't have a big problem with it. I'm super happy if this is going to lead us to dogs versus Bucks a few times. I'm in.
Yeah. So to back up to the things that we jumped over, to be fair, we probably could have just jumped over this one anyway. We got Andrade versus Already in the Ring.
Didn't even get a full intro. He was already in the ring, and then the what's his nuts announcer just goes, some guy or whatever his name was.
Yeah, well, I never caught his name.
Didn't even get a full. No, he didn't get a full intro. They never mentioned it, and he got his. He got whooped.
Yeah, and here's my problem with it. I think the first one is I'm over the squashes. We've been doing a lot of these, and I'm kind of done with it. Because it goes back to what I was saying before of if all this is to rack wins for this person, in this case Andrade, to challenge MJF for the title, have them beat somebody. Have him beat somebody that I know who they are, where I'm not making, coming up with different nicknames for this person that we're not going to see again in my notes,
Yeah.
Have him beat somebody. And you already had Andrade on a roll. Like Andrade, of all the people that have called their shot for the world title over the last couple months, Andrade is one of, arguably the most, but probably one of the most credible challengers for it.
Absolutely.
I don't need to see him squash somebody. It was a wasted time. And that's why I didn't like it. I'm like, this was pointless in my mind.
And here's where it started, where I started to feel like they're missing out on Andrade, unless this is playing into a longer game of Andrade and the Don Callis family splitting, which I have a hunch it is.
I do.
But
too,
again, when you had the setup with Andrade and Roosh, and I thought you had the perfect opportunity for him to come out then, and he didn't. And then he's like, I want the world title. Out comes Don Callis with Jake Doyle to introduce the Jet, Kevin Knight, as the newest member. And you don't mention Andrade. You're just like, good job, Andrade. And then Don spits his teeth out and picks him up. And then that was creepy. And then Andrade's gone. Just gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
I agree. It doesn't make any sense to me. They did more to make Andrade a credible challenger with the stuff he was saying to Roosh at the beginning of the show.
Exactly. Which is why I was so disappointed.
Yeah. And you could have just had him cut the promo. You could have just had him cut that promo. You didn't need the squash match. It was pointless. I'm tired of these. Get them off my TV.
Yep.
So
we didn't need that because you had the next match between Jet Speed against each other. So just have Don come out, introduce the newest member. Here comes the match. We didn't need Andrade just squashing this dude and then talking about the title and then getting no real reaction or input from Don about it. And then, move on.
Yep, I agree. So let's talk about Kevin Knight joining the family. I'm curious what your feelings on that are.
At first, I was like, okay, if you're going to let Don do all the talking, maybe that works, but they aren't going to let him do all the talking for Kevin. Kevin did some talking of his own. I don't really understand why you would do it. I know they tried to explain it with, Don's can make things happen and yada, yada. And Kevin's like, I'm just using you to get to the top, so let's make this happen. I don't think it was a necessary association that they needed to make. So I'm kind of indifferent to it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't see what it does for either. Well, I think it makes the Don Callis faction that much better, but I don't know exactly what it's doing for Kevin Knight.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it. So pretty much everything you said there was why I didn't like it. Number one, right off the bat, what you said, if Don's going to do all the talking for him, then I'm on board.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't.
Nope.
And that's not apparently how it's going to go. So when you remove that piece of the equation, my thought here and why I don't like it is I want one heel that isn't named MJF to stand on their own.
Yeah.
Is there a male heel that is not in the Don Callis family right now? I guess the Dogs, but give them a minute.
Depending on how you pigeonhole him, Swerve.
Okay, fair. I guess, yeah, he is working heel, but I think perhaps the better way to put it is I think that we could probably count on one hand, which, to be fair, we have some extra fingers, but I think that we could probably count on one hand how many heels are not affiliated with Don Callis.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why we don't have some dudes who are just like, let Kevin Knight just be a heel. If Don Callis isn't going to be his mouthpiece, then just let him be a heel. Just let him be a heel. And if we're going to break up the Don Callis family, which we're clearly headed towards, it's not going to make as much impact, because if you split Andrade and Takeshita off of it, which Takeshita's already off, right? If you split Andrade from it, you've now removed two dudes from a faction of, I think, 800 dudes.
I believe you're right. 801 now with Jet.
Right. So, when you're talking about 798 guys or 799 guys versus two, not exactly the most impactful thing. And so I don't think, I'm certain this is some long-term storytelling that they're doing, and that this is one of those things where in a month we're going to look back and go, oh, okay, I see why they did it, because this led to this. I think that that's what they're doing here. But man, in the moment, I was just like, come on. I don't like it.
What it felt like tonight, for me anyway, was they thought they needed a way to have Kevin win by cheating without him just being the cheater and having the Don Callis family interfere. So they protect Speedball a little bit, but they still get Kevin the mostly clean win because it wasn't really him doing the cheating. It was the Don Callis family. And I thought, well, that's a little weak, especially when Kevin takes the mic at the end and gives that promo of, I'm ready, MJF. Yeah. I cut dead weight. I'm good to go. I'm just hanging with these guys for the title shot, basically. Yeah. And I was like, you could have done that whole promo without the Don Callis family. You don't need them for that. If that's the angle you're going.
Right.
So it just felt weird, and I hope there is some legs to this, but we'll see. We'll see.
And let him win by cheating. He's a heel now.
Yeah,
get him heel heat. Like,
yeah, man.
I didn't like any of that of him joining the family. I didn't like it. The match was good. Like I said, I liked the match. The match was very good.
I liked it a lot. That was almost my match of the night. It was so good.
Yeah,
but
I thought they were very good.
All around it were kind of meh.
Yes. Agreed. Match was very good. I think you and I are going to say the same thing about what kept it from being truly great. For me, it was what we talked about last week of give it more build.
Yeah.
Give it a 2-week build, and this thing could have been at an absolute boil 2 weeks from now. And man, you stick that in the main event, like people would have been into it. Crowd would have been popping. I would have been pouching on the couch. Like, I'd have been into it. Like, you could have let that boil for 2 more weeks. And man, they put that match on that they did tonight. And it goes from you and I talking about like a good match. It was a good match to us going, damn, that was good, because now you've got that emotional impact behind it and that story behind it. It really would have elevated it. And that's why I say good match that could have been great if it happened 2 weeks from now.
Absolutely. Because if you look at how Speedball came down with just this much notice, he looked so much more intense than he ever has. Imagine 2 weeks worth of layering on top of that, of something happening, of Kevin avoiding him or Kevin punking him out or Kevin being like, we just needed something in there. Or maybe Kevin joins the Don Callis family and isn't going to wrestle him. And he gets heat for that and something. But they crammed it all together. I hope they run this back. I hope they give that one a little more time to breathe so that there is that continued buildup. Because I don't think this was a satisfying end for Speedball, clearly. And I don't think it was it's clear. I hope that's not a blow off because, my God, it was one match after we broke up. No. Don't do that to us. No. So we'll see what happens.
I agree. My hope is that they did it this quickly to then pivot for Forbidden Door. My guess is that Kevin Knight's going to defend the TNT title on Forbidden Door against somebody. I don't know who, but somebody. And then my hope is that they're going to come back and ultimately the blow off is going to be at All In. I hope.
That'd be fine. That'd be fine.
I hope that's what they do with it. And if they do, then this will be one of the things that we can look back on and go, well, I wouldn't even say I'm wrong because I don't think in the moment I'm wrong.
No, I don't either.
Now, hopefully at the end of August, we're sitting here going like, okay, they pulled it out, right? Like they did what they should have done and they made it work. But if this is it for those two, and right now we have no reason to believe that it is not, that wasn't the blow off, Yeah. I mean, you and I are fantasy booking it and thinking in terms of, what professional wrestling has taught us over the decades to expect. But right now, the information in front of us is that was the match. That was it. Kevin Knight's trying to move on to the world title. If that's how it goes, wildly disappointing.
Yeah, very much so. Because again, you just Marty Jannetty'd Speedball for no reason.
Right. So then we'll skip ahead because we kind of talked about the other things that happened between that and the MJF interview from a tub, which again, I mostly bring up because it was an interview from a tub and I thought that was funny.
Here's the thing that struck me that I think is going to give Briscoe the out. And I think you know what I'm going to say is when at the end, MJF says, nobody can trump me. Well, there's Tony Khan. Tony can.
That's a good point.
And I get the feeling that Tony is going to intervene and we're going to see Briscoe versus MJF. I don't know when.
Oh, yeah.
My guess. I don't think it's going to be next week, but I don't think it's going to be at Forbidden Door. But maybe.
No, I don't think so either. My guess is that they'll drag it out a little bit because of Forbidden Door.
What gives you any indication that they're going to do any dragging out of anything at this point?
Well, okay, that's a fair point. But I guess my thought on it is, so I'm just organizing my thoughts. Here's how I'm looking at it. My guess, and this is purely a guess, is that he's going to get Andrade next. And they haven't announced it yet, but we're going to get MJF and Andrade quite possibly this coming Wednesday. I don't know, knowing them. And then they might do it after that. But the other thing holding me back from it is at some point you've got to build whatever it is you're going to do at Forbidden Door, which again, we really are not doing.
Not much.
So, and like I said last week, I don't think you need a ton of build to it. But this is now 2 of your 4 Dynamites in June where you really didn't build it. And the show is at the end of the month. You got to start at some point, right? And that's why I kind of wonder if they'll punt the match with Briscoe to after Forbidden Door and then from there move to the rumored program with Kenny Omega since Montreal looms in July. But that's why I think they might drag the Briscoe thing out a little bit is because at some point you've got to do something to build whoever he's going to face at Forbidden Door.
Yes, absolutely.
Now,
because he
everything you said there,
I hope he is.
Oh, I don't see how he couldn't be. So, I mean, he could. I mean, it's certainly possible, but I'd be pretty stunned. But, everything you said there is correct. There's really no reason for me to think they're going to drag anything out at this point when it comes to World.
Nope.
So then we got Alex Windsor and Mercedes Moné. Spoiler.
How long ago did we call that? The minute they announced it?
The minute they announced it. And I think everybody was with us. I mean, I know there were some people that were like, oh, maybe it'll be Britt Baker or maybe it'll be, this Japanese wrestler, or maybe it'll be one of the recently released people from WWE, although that couldn't happen because of the 90-day non-compete clause. So, I get it. It's fun to speculate, but come on, man. We all knew it was Mercedes.
Yep. And that's fine. I had no problem with it.
Yeah.
Because at this point, if it wasn't going to be Mercedes, it was going to be a letdown.
Yes, I agree. Why I liked the match, I thought the match was pretty good, but I think one of the things that I really enjoyed about it is watching Mercedes Moné. I was like, my God, this is exactly what in every sense of the word, is an absolute star. And I'm not trying to take anything away from any of the women that are there. I'm not trying to take anything away from Chris Statlander or from Thekla or anybody else. But she is an absolute star, and she carries herself that way, and she backs it up in the ring, and they need that real bad right now in the women's division. And here's the thing. If her return tonight doesn't just automatically in some way lead to her winning the Owen and getting the title shot at All In, then what the hell are we doing? Because that has to be it. And she and Thekla will put a good match on, and buddy, you switch that belt in London.
Yep, I agree. I thought the match was good. I thought Mercedes looked really good for being out of the ring for so long. I thought she looked good in her return. The thing that sullies it a bit for me, and I knew this is where I was going to be, was once again, we've put Alex Windsor in a kind of no-win situation. And the Birds aren't a solid thing because they focused on them for like 3 weeks, and then it was, singles match, single match, tag, and now the one's in the Owen, one's not. So that to me is what ruined it, because I think you did it at the expense of Alex Windsor. Now, granted, it had to be at someone's expense. I just don't like that it was Alex Windsor, that it was at their expense.
I get that. It could have easily been Mina Shirakawa in that spot, right?
Yeah, or one of the people coming from Stardom or something. That's fine.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, just because of the weird inconsistent treatment with Alex Windsor, that was my only caveat to not enjoying that as much as I did, because I was like, well, I know who's coming out on top, because if you're waiting for Mercedes to be your wild card and she's losing, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But she won, which she should, but poor Alex. That's all.
No, I don't think you're wrong on that. I think the only thing I can think of as I was sitting here listening to you talk about that, and in my mind agreeing with you they keep false starting both of the Brawling Birds. I think I've just become immune to it. Like I think I just expect it, of like, you're going to talk them up. You're going to put them in a position to try and make them look strong, but they're going to lose. And sort of like with the Lio Rush stuff, I'm like, I don't know how long you can do that before I go, okay, and somebody else beat Jamie Hayter, somebody else beat Alex Windsor. Yawn, and unfortunately, I think we're to that point where I go, I expect that you're going to lose. Like, I see the hierarchy here, and y'all ain't at the top. So, I guess I'm just kind of immune to it now, and I don't know. Maybe I was just like swept up in the Mercedes of it all. I don't know, but
no, again, I get it, and I don't think it's fair to penalize Mercedes for how they treated Alex Windsor, but for me, that darkened the match just a little bit. But I did it, like I said, I enjoyed having Mercedes come back. I thought she looked great. I thought the crowd behind her was cool. I'm on board with her coming back and doing what she needs to do. Just I wish someone else would have eaten the pin instead of Alex. That's all.
Yep, that's fair. Excuse me. That's fair. Then we got Renee with Don Callis and Okada that I made absolutely no notes about, which is why it resides firmly in my meh category.
Yep, same. Because I was like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Want my title back.
What did you think of the next promo with Ciampa?
So I put it in my meh category, and it's probably closer to me not liking it than me liking it. Because we're just playing Jericho's greatest hits now?
Yep.
Okay.
I appreciate Ciampa trying his best to make this promo work. To make this angle work. It feels so flimsy. And like you said, I even wrote down, pulling out a lot of Jericho quotes. Why? What are we doing?
I don't know.
I'm left spinning my wheels in this could be good, but your reason for it doesn't make a lot of sense. And so it's hard for me to get behind Jericho and Ciampa. So in my head now, Ciampa and Jericho are kind of mid-card acts, and they shouldn't be.
I agree with you on that. It goes back to what we talked about last week of, did Jericho reinvent himself again? And I argue no. He's doing his greatest hits.
Yep.
And now you've got his opponent doing his greatest hits. So first of all, how are you supposed to convince me this isn't a retirement tour?
Right.
I mean, that's number one in my mind, is why are we pulling out stuff from the WCW days, which, Ciampa pulled out on Saturday with I have 1,004 reasons. If you don't remember, or if you weren't alive for it, Dean Malenko was the man of 1,000 holds, and Jericho in a feud with him said, yeah, well, I'm the man of 1,004 holds, so
Yep.
we're calling back to that, which, again, for guys like us that were there for it, like, oh, yay, fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the Easter eggs. That's fun.
Right.
But I don't know how that isn't like we're doing the Jericho retirement tour here.
Yeah.
The other part of it is, how in the world is that building a program, especially when Ciampa's supposed to be the psycho killer? Like, it would be so much better if Ciampa came out and just said, I don't like you, and I want to beat your ass. All right, cool. I'm on board. Let's do it. Let's do it. I don't need him quoting Jericho from 1997 or whatever,
Right. And the reasoning of what better way to establish myself as the psycho killer than by taking out Jericho? It's like, well, what was he doing before he left? And what he just got back, like, that didn't make any sense. If you want to be the psycho killer and put your stamp on things, take out the Elite, take out Okada, take out anybody.
Take out MJF.
Jericho.
I mean, if the whole thing is you're planting your flag as this is mine, why wouldn't you? I mean, I know he lost to Darby, but why wouldn't you keep going after whoever the world champion is? Why wouldn't you just keep targeting champions in general? Like, it just doesn't. Ciampa is lost in this company right now, and they got to figure it out.
It didn't feel good, and
no.
Like I said, it just made me think of these two guys that shouldn't be in my head as mid-card guys.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It didn't feel good. But boy, Ospreay and Davis sure did.
Holy balls, that was a great match. I liked it.
That really was. I initially was surprised that it was the main event. I assume they put it there because they knew they were going to tear it down. I'm still a little surprised that it was the main event in a show where you had both the World Championship and the TNT Championship defended, when either of those felt to me like they could be main event matches. That itty-bitty nitpick aside, that has nothing to do with Will Ospreay and Mark Davis.
Right.
This is a banger of a match. Big fan. Match of the night. Like I said, I liked the Donnybrook of the factions getting involved. I am with Mox of, I'm not sure that I love everybody being in a faction, and if this somehow leads to breaking some of them up, okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
What I did like about the scrum, because a lot of times I'm not always a fan of how AEW does their pull-aparts and their big interferences like this. I really liked this one because it was layered, and it clearly started to kind of pair them up and give everybody some one-offs, and like, okay, now you two and you two and you two and you two. Now we're setting up ongoing feuds between these two factions with individuals that we can look at and go, okay, this makes sense. This moves on. That I really liked. And I really liked having Takeshita come out when Fletcher seemed to be the final nail, and then Takeshita comes out and it's back to being even. I thought it was well done all the way around, and especially after the scrum, I think there were at least 2, if not 3, 1-2 oohs that were like, ooh, nice, you got me.
Yeah,
you got me.
I mean, I thought Ospreay had him on the Styles Clash, and they didn't do it there. I totally agree with you on everything you said there. I don't always love run-ins, period, regardless of the company doing it. Totally agree with you. They set up really good building blocks here of how we're going to do the war between Don Callis Family and the Death Riders. They did it in a way that made sense. If we're going to get Mark Davis and Claudio, which because they paired off, if I recall correctly, like, yep, I'm in. I'm in for that. And I'm not, I don't dislike Claudio, but we've talked about it on this show. He's got 4 moves. I'm not his biggest supporter in the world, but let's do it, man. Let's big meaty men slapping meat. Let's do it. Yeah, I agree. I thought that the whole match worked. I
Yeah.
mean, every
Plus,
bit of it worked.
Plus, if this is a signal that Lance Archer is going to get back in the ring some more, then yes, by all means.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. So seeing him get in there, get in some decent offense a little bit at least, and just seeing him pair up, I was like, okay, great. Boatloads of storytelling in the last 5 minutes of this show, but you got more exposition in with this match than you did, I think, any of the other matches. So congratulations. But yeah, I liked it start to finish. I thought it was great. And I loved seeing Shafir hop on top of Davis's back. I thought that was really fun.
That was really good. And I had no problem with, I know sometimes they shy away from this, and I get the reason why. I had no problem with Jake Doyle tossing her and her taking the bump. Like, it fits the character. It fits the story. I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, I thought the whole thing was really, really good. The whole thing was really good. Again, I'm going to say the Will Ospreay and the Death Riders stuff is, I think, the most compelling story they have going right now.
Absolutely. I think that is the big storyline that they have. I think it's the most meaty one going. And that says something when it doesn't involve your world champion.
Yep, it really does. And it, I think, only helps with Will's ascension to the title, because I am just every week more and more convinced that this man is winning the Owen. He's going to All In, and he's winning at Wembley. I don't know who he's beaten there, but I know he's winning at Wembley.
Yep. He is going to have a hell of a match against Swerve Strickland. It is going to be really, really, it's going to be tough. It's going to be, we're going to wonder if he's going to be able to make it All In because of his neck, because Swerve's going to attempt to kill him. And it might take the Death Rider saving him, but he is going to he's going to beat Swerve. He's going to go to All In, and he's going to challenge for the title. Like you said, it just is dependent on who it's going to be. Is it going to be Kenny Omega? Is it going to be MJF? Is it going to be Andrade?
It's not
going to be Roosh.
It's not going to be Roosh. It's
not
going to be Darby
Briscoe.
Allin.
Yeah. I doubt Darby's coming back.
I doubt it's going to be Darby. I think we'll get Darby back between now and All In. I think they'll get him on the All In card, but I don't think it's going to be as champion.
And that's okay.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. If you fantasy book it, if MJF drops to Omega in Montreal, which I think I'm going to go ahead and call my shot on that one now, that's what's going to happen. And if Kenny, so you get, because that would also then make this weird stuff between Ospreay and Omega make sense, right?
Yes.
So you get Ospreay and Omega at All In. If Darby comes back, possibly intervenes in that match, or he comes back after it and jumps Max after he's lost to Omega at whatever the new pay-per-view's name is. I'll learn it, but
new pay-per-view, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll learn it by the time we get to the show, probably.
New pay-per-view.
Then you could do Darby and MJF again at All In, and you don't need a belt on the line for that. And, okay, let's do it. Those guys they've got good chemistry. They're good together. Let's do it. So, it's there's some seeds there for where I think we might be headed for All In. It's just going to be a question of the how of it all, right? If they can pull it all together. And I'm going to be honest with you, where I am going to nitpick them a little bit here again is I kind of wish that they would go back to fewer pay-per-views. Like, I don't mind Forbidden Door being in between Double or Nothing and All In, but I think coming out of Forbidden Door, it should be all about All In.
Absolutely.
And it's not going to be. And I don't know that I love that.
No.
But again, that's a nitpick. But overall, it's, we had a lot more stuff in the liked it than didn't, I think. I had one.
I did. Because really the only thing I did not like was the take on Andrade. That was my biggest thing I didn't like.
Yeah.
I thought the action in the ring for the most part was great. I thought the promos for the most part were good. The closest I could come to putting one of the promos in there is Ciampa's into the dislike. But overall, I thought it was a really good show. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it's a good show. There's some seeds planted here. My main two questions with Dynamite, and these are probably going to be my main two questions for the next at least week, possibly longer, are as follows. Number one, when are we going to start the build to Forbidden Door?
Yep.
And number two, where is Hangman Adam Page?
It's a good question.
Really
It's a good
thought he was
question.
going to show up tonight. Really, really did.
I was slightly surprised.
Yeah.
Surprised he did not.
Yep.
I do like the fact that they did work in a Hangman Adam Page reference with the Bucks.
Two of them.
But
They had two of them because MJF had Justin Roberts bring it up in the intro. Yeah.
Yep. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting that he wasn't there. I'm a little surprised, but you know what? It kind of makes me just look forward to him being back a little more. So, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It just makes me wonder where he's going to slot into all this when he comes back. But
Right.
I guess we'll find out when we get there.
Because to be honest, if he came back tonight, then as if the world title picture wasn't already cloudy enough. I honestly think if he came back tonight, it throws such a monkey wrench into any plans that may or may not have been slated. I think it just would have added too much confusion. So while I anticipated him and was disappointed he wasn't there, I'm almost glad he wasn't until things settle out a bit and he can come back and there's a little clearer path as opposed to just 50 trying to head for that title at one time.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, I'll call my shot now. He comes back at the new pay-per-view in Montreal.
Okay.
Because if it's here's what I think. If the rumors are correct and if it is going to be Omega and MJF in the main event in Montreal, which it probably is going to be, right? Because why do you not put Canadian hero Kenny Omega in the main event, right? That's when Hangman comes back. He costs MJF the title. Omega moves on to Ospreay at All In, and maybe it's MJF and Hangman at All In. Although I did just say that Darby would come back and do that.
Doesn't mean he can't.
Some point I'm going to have to pick one, but not tonight.
Yeah, man.
Tonight I'm going to just waffle between the two.
You know what? Tonight both can be true.
Yes,
Tonight
there we go.
both can be true.
Yeah. All right. So on that note, give us the like and the subscribe and the follow and all that good stuff. If you haven't yet already, you can follow us on social media at Elite Heat Pod, wherever you do your social media. You can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast. Check us out on YouTube, all that good stuff. And we'll be back next week to see if maybe they start the build to Forbidden Door. I bet they don't.
Yeah, probably not. No, that's something clearly they're going to do on Collision.
I mean, they might. Like, it's entirely possible they're going to put this thing together the week of the show.
Yep. Unfortunately, that's probably what's going to happen.
Not great for selling tickets and for selling pay-per-view buys, but I kind of feel like that's where we're headed because other than the STARDOM mention from Thekla tonight, nothing. Not a word about it.
Yeah.
Okie doke. All right.
Better keep us damn entertained between now and then.
Yeah.
So,
all right. On that note, pants off, dance off.
Yes.